Welcome to Sweat Sessions. It's
Thank
glad
you.
to have you today on our show. So, in 2014, you had one of the most miserable accidents, which almost injured your neck and almost paralyzed you on the left. So, how did you gather courage? How did you get that confidence, not give up, and evolve into that person that you are today? Take us through that journey.
Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here. I'm still relatively new in the region, so it's good to know the brands, people in Dubai. Yes, it is almost a decade ago now. It was a life-changing accident for me. By then, I wasn't doing this job. I found my purpose in life with this accident. Like anything in life, I think when things happen, especially the challenging things, bad things, the things we think they are bad, they may not be always so bad for us, but we understand it later in life as we go through the life. It was one of those things. It was life threatening, so I did lose movement on the left side of my body. I had a couple of years, nearly quite rough time. I was engaged to my husband, my fiance. So even when we did the wedding, I would still experience a lot of pain because I went through a major surgery. And then, thanks to Turkish brain surgeons, they put my neck together,
Wow.
and I gained the movement back, which was really miraculous.
Yeah.
And I left my job. I studied business originally. I wasn't always a Pilates instructor. I studied business. I worked in quite well known multinational corporations. I was doing a quite senior job when I had the accident. I was at a quite young age reporting to the CEO of a very well known big retailer, both in the UK and in Turkey. And it was just one of those moments, really. I said, I'm never going to go back to offices again. Those type of big things in life, big life events, I think it makes you put just things in perspective. You just understand what's important for you. And I've just decided I didn't want to work in the offices anymore. Pilates, by then, it was a hobby. So I would just leave the office, run, and so look forward to my Pilates classes. I would go and do group classes. Then I had a trainer. I did loads of one-to-one sessions. I just loved it. I loved it so much, so I decided to become an
I want to
instructor.
ask with that point itself. So, what inspired you to become a fitness trainer and why specifically specializing in Pilates?
I think the biggest thing is helping people because I'm coming from a major injury, and Pilates was a big part of my healing. I don't think if I didn't do this form of exercise beforehand long time, I couldn't recover that well. uh, like anything, if you are strong before a trauma, before anything happens to your body, if you were strong beforehand, like as women we go through pregnancies, childbirth, if you were fitter and stronger beforehand, you are always you recover better than an average person. So I did recover well, and then I started again exercising. Pilates was a huge part of my rehab, my healing, and then I thought I can just help other people, the people who go through similar things, injured people, people suffering from back pain, people suffering from different medical conditions. It is not really, I know on social media we see that quite the glamorous part of
Yeah.
exercising, but if you come and see day to day my studio, what I deal with, the clients, it is not that glamorous. So, and I am happy it is that way because my biggest mission, I just want to help people who are suffering from chronic pain, scoliosis, continuous back pain, stress from their work life. With Pilates, I just show them they can overcome things, they can achieve the things they think they are not able to do. I think the biggest part of my job is to show people that they can do things they think they are not able to, and it is a very rewarding job. That's why I decided to become an instructor. not only a Pilates instructor, I then specialized on injuries, post rehab, scoliosis, shoulder injuries, knee injuries, and all of this training and further education after becoming a Pilates instructor in the UK, I did. The whole reason in the last decade of my life I spent, it's all around this purpose, just to help people and help them to become better version of themselves.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, from what we know, you've graduated or you've learned your modern technique or the new spin of Pilates from Stott, right?
Yes.
So, how is that Pilates technique different from the traditional ones, and what are the benefits that you can get from this?
Of course. So I am a modern approach trained instructor. So there's a classical approach, traditional Pilates, and there are modern schools like Bassi, Balance Body, Stott Pilates, like I did. I did all my training in the UK. So the difference is that there are still studios around the world, and the schools, they are trying to persevere. They are trying to completely keep Joseph Pilates' original work, which I really respect. It is a wonderful method, but the method was created in 1912. So this is a century ago.
Oh.
Joseph Pilates with his wife Carla, they opened the first ever Pilates studio in New York, 1926. So we are talking about a century ago, and science is discovering every day
And
something.
it's evolving every day.
Yes, evolving and discovering things about human body every day. Even the method that I was trained 10 years ago with Stott Pilates, they keep working with physical therapy specialists, physiotherapists, and now there's fascia. There's biggest concept in the fitness world, exercise. So we are now learning about this. We are discovering things. And as the science evolves, I don't think we can stay same. I really, really respect all those people committed to traditional Pilates method, and I respect them. I'm not against it, but the reason I train with modern approach, the difference is modern approach, we include a little bit of physical therapy dimension, and we kind of create more variations, more modifications for people who cannot do the full exercise for any reason. It can be a medical condition, it can be a disability, or it can be just an injury. That's why, from where I'm coming from, my background, my injury, that's why I always felt a little bit closer to modern approach. That's the main difference.
And I think the kind of medical conditions that are coming up these days are also very different from what it used to be back then. So it's not just the science evolving, it's also what we are doing to ourselves. So you have to have a different approach, right?
Definitely.
So when I was going through your profile, the Insta handle, I can see that there is one quote: movement for everybody.
Yes.
What do you want to talk about that?
So last year I launched my fitness Pilates app. It is not only Pilates. There are traditional fitness exercises, workouts in it as well. And before the launch, we were thinking about how should I come up with, including my husband. Everybody said, just you. It's Hilal Pilates. But I wanted to emphasize what I stand for, and it is really movement for everybody, because my aim is to make movement accessible to everyone. I'm a huge believer that movement is really for everybody, and everybody deserves to exercise, but everybody may not have access to those expensive gym memberships. They might have access and money, but they might still not want to do it. Let me explain what I mean by this. You walk into a gym, and so many people do this. They pay for a really expensive membership, then they open the door, they walk into those big lights, huge, modern, complicated machines, very maybe fit people training there. They just close the door, they go back, they say, this is not for me, I find this intimidating, I'm gonna go and walk. And this can happen to anyone. I mean, if I go now walk into a gym, this is my job, but I don't know, I might find certain things intimidating. My aim is, at home, with minimal props, anyone can become fit, anyone can train their body, they can become more mobile and strong. That's the whole idea. That's why I want to make exercise available to everyone. I teach not only mat Pilates, I teach on the equipment as well.
Yes.
And most of the people coming to my studio members training with me, I now only offer one-to-one sessions. During these sessions, I teach most of the time on reformer, because you can do a lot of things in terms of rehab as well on the equipment. And I teach equipment, but I share it very sparingly on Instagram. That's all because of this reason, because I know how many people have reformer in their houses. But I do it because I know other instructors follow me, and I know I speak to them. They always reach out to me. Some of the app members are instructors, and they are buying my app to get class inspiration for their own teachings. And they keep telling me, when are you going to start to record reformer classes? I know I'm delaying it and I should be doing this. Yes, I will do it. But the whole aim is I'm trying to show more and more without any expensive equipment. People can do cardio. I always tell them, go out and walk. Walk like you are late to somewhere 3 to 4 times a week and see the magic. If you don't need to have a Peloton bike, you don't need to have the most expensive treadmill. I don't have it. I just go out and run. Yes, in Dubai it is not always possible, but I try to do it most of the year. And when it comes to exercise, I tell runners, I tell people with back pain, anyone, I say that when you use my app, just very minimal props you will need to buy. Anywhere you can buy online. It won't cost you a lot of money, and you can just get stronger. You can get mobile, and you can really heal your chronic pain, unless if it is a big medical
and
condition.
I think yesterday we were having a discussion about this as well. So when she was mentioning about the app that you have and the videos that you do online, she had a very interesting question where, does that really impact the people? Because see, the thing is, when you say you do one-on-one classes, the impact that you have on that person is way higher than doing an online class. Yes. How do you manage that? Does it really impact that person? Is it like worth coming on an online class? Because there are a lot of people who do it, but very genuine ones who actually want to transform. But how much of an impact does that cost?
So what it is, of course, when we teach in person, that we see a lot of improvement in a very short period of time. People start to really not only visually change, they start to become more confident. They really understand what is proper form, what is technique, what is proper alignment, what is a neutral pelvis, what is their neck doing, how they should align as they move their body. Because no matter what level they are training, I have golf players, I have divers, I have every type of people doing different sports, dancers, and no matter what their level, I always teach from the scratch. I always teach it the way I teach it, because I have sometimes quite intermediate advanced practitioners coming to me, and I have local ones here in Dubai. Even when they come, they always say, oh, I've been doing Pilates last 5 years, 10 years. I never knew this. They say, I never knew I should have done it that way. I should place my neck that way. I was doing this and I was getting neck pain, because I teach them from the scratch. Yes, with one-on-one teaching, we see a lot of improvement, and it is very rewarding. With online, again, I'm teaching all those principles. Every class I record, I do weekly updates, and every new release I do, I know I keep saying the same things to them during the warm-up. I keep reminding them how to breathe, what is a diaphragm breathing, how they should breathe. But every time I repeat those cues, techniques, how to breathe. So I'm sure, yes, it may not be as effective as they were just in front of me, and I know their background, their history of injuries. It may not be, but still, rather than looking at some online videos trying to do it wrong, with a dedicated 30 minutes or 1 hour class or 45 minutes, whatever they like to choose, because I've got different varieties and length, different difficulties. So they just choose it. They still keep actually seeing me physically performing every single rep, every exercise, and talking at the same time, which is still a lot of gain for them.
So, being a mother, how do you balance your fitness routine?
Oh, that's
And especially you are a freelance Pilates trainer.
Yes.
And understanding the demands of motherhood, I know that it's very difficult.
Oh, that's completely, yes, that's a completely different story. Have you guys got kids?
Not yet.
No. Okay. Your life will change forever. So before I had my son, I accepted every job. So when I first became a Pilates instructor, I accepted every job. I worked crazy hours that you couldn't even believe. Even I worked myself to burnt out because I wanted to learn. I wanted to gain experience. I wanted my eye to improve. Now, walking on the street. Now, when clients walk to the studio, as soon as they walk, I can see what's wrong with their feet, what's going on with their pelvis, what's wrong with their back. So, but your eye needs to develop. So, to get to that level, you need to work a lot of hours. You need to gain experience. So I worked for different studio owners in the UK, and I did teach crazy hours, but then I didn't have a child. How I balance now? So my son, he's now 5 years old. He started to experience movement in the womb, because when I got pregnant, I carried on with exactly the same schedule. I didn't make much change to my schedule. I still carried on the same working hours, because if you are healthy, you can do it. The only thing I did was I changed my own training because I was pregnant. So he started this. As soon as he was born, I had a quite traumatic birth experience. It was an emergency C-section, but that's okay. So what happened? Another surgery for me. Hilal likes big major surgeries. So another surgery, but it's healing from C-section is really something. But we got through it. So I did some gentle walks at the beginning, and then I started to do some breath work. As soon as I got to 6 weeks, I put him on one of those baby rockers during my maternity leave. Put him in the studio in the UK. In my Pilates studio, as I exercise, that's what he saw always. And there's still to date, I can share with you if you like, there's this video, it's gone viral. So every probably fitness account shared this video. Me and my husband, we are trying to do a HIIT kind of workout. I think it was during lockdown. Yes, he's a baby. He's somewhere between 1 to 2 years old. Mm-hmm. He just comes. He's running and he's doing all the same things. He's just wonderful. He's doing all the same exercises, and it looks so cute, so funny. And that's all he sees. If parents, especially new parents, if they are watching this episode, if they are listening to now, one thing I could tell them, exercising, looking after yourself is not selfish. You should make it work, and you should still continue. Children need to see exercise is a big part of our life. It is a big form of self-care, and moms and dads, they do exercise. They should see it as an example. Children need to understand that that's how we look after ourselves, and exercising, doing sports, it is really good. My son now, probably he does 4 or 5 different sports. Wow. It's because it's a lot. I know it's because of me, because I just keep him with sports. Kids doing sports, they don't get chance to go and find bad things. They're always occupied with that physical and mental wellness, because exercise, what it gives us before even physical wellness, it is mental clarity, mental well-being. That's why we always showed him with my husband, and that's what he knows. I mean, what I would tell new parents, it's not going to be the same as before. So, but you will never have those long showers. You will never. There are other things that won't be same when you have kids. But what I used to do, I would put him with his lunch, with baby tray, right in front of me with the baby chair. I would get on the bike. I would start the 15-20 minute session. I would have to get off the bike 4 times. I would put him in the studio. If I was going to do 30 minutes Pilates, I did probably stop 10 times, change nappy, continue breastfeeding. You do all those things. Yes, it's not going to be perfect, but if you wait for perfect moment, after having kids, this perfect moment will never come. So exercise today, exercise broke, exercise without sleep, exercise. It's going to change everything. You will become a better parent for your kids, because you will be happier. Everyone at home knows, if I exercise, I'm a better wife, I'm a better mother, I'm a better daughter. So I'm just better because I feel happier, so I can share this happiness with them. I can be better for them. That's why I don't care if I stop 10 times, if I have to breastfeed my baby, if I have to change nappies, I still go back, I still complete it. I think that's the way we should be, because at the end of the day, it makes us healthier, it makes us happier, so it is really worth it.
Nice.
That's actually
It's a
I
very
can
important
I
thing.
can connect that with my sisters because they always say that maybe tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
or let them reach 1 year
And
or
then
2
we'll
years,
think about it
then
and
we'll think
yeah.
about it.
I know, but it really is time is today, time is now. We
Yeah.
shouldn't
Yeah.
wait, because that perfect moment will never come.
Yeah.
We may as well just do it.
So Hilal, in Pilates, can you discuss more on the mind and body connection that is there, and how that has an impact on mental well-being and stress reduction? Because that's something that's
Of
very
course.
important these days.
Of course. So Pilates, there is that big dimension to Pilates called centering. When they say centering principle in Pilates, what they refer to is centering, both connecting the mind body together, and also when they say centering our center, which is our core
Yeah.
powerhouse, which, as you might know, it is very important, that core strength. Every movement, whenever our limbs move, we do an upper body exercise, it is coming from the center. Whenever we do a lower body exercise, it is still coming from the powerhouse.
Yes.
That's why Pilates is very much
Central,
focused on
yeah.
that powerhouse centering and also mind body connection. So, like any other exercise, what it does, Pilates gets you out of your head, from the daily life stress, into your body. A walk will do the same. For a runner, running will do the same. Whatever your thing, any exercise will do this. It just gets us out of our head from whatever stress we might be going through, and it will make us connect to our own bodies. That's why my every session, clients arrive, they had a long day, especially evening sessions. They just spend a stressful day maybe in the office, or they have been ill and they haven't trained for a while. They say, oh, do you know what? I thought today wasn't going to go so well. After not training 10 days, I feel actually it is rather the opposite. And I feel more energized. I feel now they live happier. They live with a smile, which is my biggest aim. And they live more energized. So exercise definitely gives us those endorphins. And there are now numerous science experiments, numerous studies, they show exercise. When you look at all those, I listen a lot of podcasts about chronic stress, anxiety, burnt out, all those conditions. You will always see on the top 3, one of the cures is always exercise. No matter what it is, no matter what your thing. For some people it is golf, for some people yoga, for some people Pilates, for some people just strength training or running. But exercise is always one of the top 3 cures
in some
to
form.
deal with, and to help with mental well-being. And I'm a big believer in this, definitely.
Yeah. I have done Pilates. I have tried Pilates and I have tried yoga. So, how different is Pilates from yoga? If yes, could you please explain more?
Let me explain. So this is actually a quite big thing between our Pilates instructors. It's quite the joke that everybody does, because I don't know if you have seen those videos online. There's loads on social media. Whenever we asked what we do for living, so when I meet new people in a new environment, they ask, what do you do? I say, I'm a Pilates instructor. They say, okay, you teach yoga. And that's why all the Pilates instructors, they sometimes, you hear this so many times. Every Pilates instructor had this experience at least once in their career. So you say, no, I teach Pilates. Okay, yoga. Is it like yoga? So we always hear this. So there are, but I understand where people are coming from, because there are a lot of crossovers between the two disciplines. Yoga is more ancient, more spiritual, and it even affected Joseph Pilates' work, because his father was a gymnast, award-winning gymnast, and then he was a boxer, he was a circus performer, and he was also teaching self-defense. He was a self-defense instructor. He put all of this together when he was creating Pilates, and he put the ancient Zen aspect, the yoga poses and postures coming from yoga. They all influenced Pilates. Now, in modern days today, Pilates, you will read this on all those magazines or social media articles. It say why Pilates is more popular, because Pilates became more popular. Yoga, what I see, I love yoga. I love going to another instructor's class. Even Pilates, I love going and doing other instructors' classes because I love somebody tells me what to do rather than me telling. And I really, really enjoy yoga. Yoga is a full package. So there are big blocks in it. There is meditation, there is the philosophy, there is the movement poses. So it is a wider, bigger package, I would say. Pilates, Pilates is seen as more dynamic, but you could argue this because you keep moving, you are not holding the poses. Yes, there are flows with yoga as well, flowing movements,
Yeah.
not always holding the pose. Of course, if you go to a yin yoga class, you know you are going to hold the poses, not so dynamic. When you go to a Pilates class, you know you will keep moving again from one move to another. But having said that, if you go to a power yoga class,
It's
that
different.
can kill you.
Yeah, it's
Some of
way
yoga
different.
classes, they are just so incredibly hard. So we cannot say one is harder than the other. We cannot say there are really big crossovers. But in that sense, there's definitely that philosophy, spirituality with yoga, that comes meditation part of it. I could say the differences, but the biggest similarity is having the breath work, working on the breath, working on the mind-body connection. Because the moment you lose mind-body connection, I can literally see my studio. We start with breath work because nobody does breath work.
Yes.
Nobody spends, let me just do my breath work. We should all do probably 5 to 8 minutes a day. They say, there are those superhuman protocols. So 5 to 8 minutes. It is a wonderful tool for longevity, but nobody is spending time on breath work. We start every Pilates session with breath work. At least 2 minutes of their day, they can just think, because I ask them to close their eyes and observe their body. They say, do you know what? All day, I didn't think about how I was feeling. I didn't even think about that sore shoulder. I didn't think about I was feeling quite well today, or I don't know, stiff or something else. So only then, during those 2 minutes when they do their Pilates diaphragmatic breathing, they said, I really feel connected to my body. And the moment whilst moving, they lose this connection. They actually, you can see form starts to give up and they lose their good technique. I say, come on,
Yeah.
go back to it, focus, focus.
Yeah, I think
That's
very
why it is
important.
very important, again, with both disciplines, that mind-body connection.
So I think another interesting thing you mentioned about is the bar technique. Can you throw some light
Bar.
on?
I am a bar instructor as well. I used to teach a lot of group bar classes. I am not teaching now group classes. I'm only teaching private sessions. But again, if the client likes to do bar, I teach bar. Bar is a discipline. It is a fusion of multiple things. It is coming from ballet, yoga, sports conditioning, dance and Pilates. It is kind of mix of all those things, because with bar, you do it with a ballet bar.
Yeah.
So the students line up at the bar. There's still a warm up. There's the main workout and the cool down. Bar stretches, you do all of this. When it comes to bar stretches, you do use a lot of yoga poses. And during the main body workout, you use a lot of that dance or ballet aspect. So you need to know what the main positions are, like plie. You need to know what the difference between plie, squat. We teach the students. There are first positions, first ballet position, second position. So they know all these in time. They learn all those positions, and it is always done to a music. So we always put the music and they move to the beat. It is, in that sense, much more dynamic, much more heart rate is quite up.
Okay.
A bit like dance classes.
Interesting.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I think
I think we're good. I think you've covered almost
Yeah,
everything.
almost
I
everything.
think we've
Thank
got
you.
all the
do
important
you
stuff that
do you
we
want to
want.
add anything more? Any other questions?
Anything you
No,
want
I think
to-
we went through all your
Almost
questions.
All the
everything,
questions,
right?
right?
So
Yeah.
so that's good. So anyways, thank you so much for making
You're
time.
very welcome.
And,
Thank you for having me. I